everyone, welcome to the episode 16 of the Cornish Stitches podcast. You are very welcome here. Bear with me, I'll just turn it that way, slightly better angle, and you don't have to look at the rubbish that's in my studio. So yeah, welcome everybody. If you are new here, my name is Ness and I live in Cornwall in the southwest of England, in a small market town and about 7 miles inland from the coast. I live in a multi-generational household with my parents, my husband, my 2 boys, a dog, and 3 cats, and a couple of fish. We love the outdoors, so this is kind of a general, typically usual kind of knitting podcast with finished objects, works in progress, but equally there might be spatterings of things that we've done in our local area that I try and include to show you a little bit of Cornwall. So yeah, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back, and you're most welcome. So everybody, I would grab a drink. I've just got some flavoured water here today. Grab a project and we'll have a chat. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. You may or may not know, if you're not in England, you probably don't know that we have had, typical British, talk about the weather, we have had a tremendous amount of rain in the country, but particularly in the southwest and particularly in Cornwall. We've been really we were hit at the very beginning of the year by 3 consecutive named storms, which were really quite severe. Lots of structural damage and things to properties. Luckily, we managed to escape major issues. Where we are, we're in a bit of a dip. So the wind tends to go over us rather than come down. But we've also had biblical amounts of rain. It has rained every single day where we are since the turn of the year, and so everywhere is saturated. Nowhere can be walked easily. There's mud, there's potholes, there's all the things associated with lots and lots of torrential rain. So it's an interesting time to be out and about down here at the moment, and negotiating routes is interesting. Yeah. So we have, I've had a lovely couple of weeks. I went to the Little Flock, or Wee Flock as it's becoming affectionately known. And if you're not aware of what the Little Flock is, it's run by John and Claire of Bird Street Yarns, and it's essentially a very large scale knit and natter. It's held once every 3 or 4 months in a village hall on the outskirts of Bristol, where you can go and have an afternoon of fun with fellow minded knitters and crocheters and crafters. And John and Claire always have a pop-up shop of their yarns, and they also have every time a local other craft seller. This time they had for the very first stall of theirs, they had Notion and Needle. And Notion and Needle are a new company, and they are based in the southwest, and I will link them down below. And essentially they make all the sorts of things that you would like to have for accessorizing your knitting. They have got bags, they have got progress keepers, they've got stitch markers, they've got badges, they've got tons and tons, and it's all, I'm reliably informed that it will be all featured on an Etsy shop shortly. But in the meantime, I'll pop their Instagram details down below. And whilst I was there, I managed to pick up these. So these are not showing, there we go, no needle. They're little cat, there you go, little cat stitch markers. But the best thing is, look, they also make matching earrings. So pink cats, it was always going to be a bit of a winner for me, but yeah, so I managed to pick these up. And then I also picked up some try on cables, because we always need to be able to try on our garments. So I picked those up whilst I was there. We had the most amazing afternoon, as we always do, and it's lovely. And John will take some pictures. He's an amazing photographer, so he took some photographs of people if you want to go in your newly knitted or crocheted garments, and he will take photographs. Oh, I didn't say what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing today my Granny Go Round cardigan, and I knitted this last year, finished it just before the summer. This grey is in Recreate. The cream, although it's coming up white on there, but it is cream, is Drops Charisma, and the pink is West Yorkshire Spinners Colour Lab Berry colour. And I knitted this, as I say, last year, and I wear it all the time. I actually really love it. It's really nice. It's warm, but without being too warm. Yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. I'll link that below. Yeah, I am slowly recovering from, I had some small surgery a couple of weeks ago, so I'm still in the recovery stages of that. But yeah, getting there. So that's progressing. That's all good. And then just bear with me. Oh, apologies, I'm back. This is now about 4 hours later to when I left you last. So yeah, I had to go and take my mum to go and pick up her car, which has been in the garage, and so I had to go and take her to deliver her to Bodmin, which is the next town along, so she could then pick up her car and bring it home. So we ended up having lunch and all sorts of things. But anyway, I'm back. So let's get on with finished objects, shall we? So I've got my notes. I've got a whole new notebook about keeping notes for my podcast, so I know where I go and what the links are that I need to share. So I have got 2 finished objects this time, which I'm really quite pleased about. One I'll talk about, and I'll just pop a picture up here because it's in the house and I'm not going back in there again. So yes, I made this hot water bottle cover. So in 2024, I was gifted my friend Jen and I, returning viewers will know, do a advent for each other where we give each other a mood board, and we swap at the end of the year, so we compile the advent for each other based on that mood board, and then we gift it to each other at the start of December. And I still had about 8 skeins possibly left from my 2024 advent, and was determined that that was not going to go into 2026. So I held them double and I made this hot water bottle cover. It's a free pattern, which we love free, on Ravelry, by Emily Bolduan. I'll pop the details down below, from the Maker store. And it's a DK weight pattern. My advent minis were all 4-ply, so I held them double and then I marled them going up as well. So I was doing almost like colour work, swapping between each of them to blend them in, just randomly. There was no strict pattern there's no instructions on the pattern to do that. The pattern on Ravelry is knitted in 1 skein of yarn, but I wanted to use up my minis, so I tried to blend them as best I could. I used 4mm needles. I knitted in the round rather than magic loop. I am not a great fan of magic loop, so I did do it in the round. And the pattern uses 1 skein or 200 meters ish of DK weight yarn. I had really good fun using it. I love the effects. I love a hot water bottle, so it's been made some good use of so far, and it's useful when I'm in here if it gets a cooler day. I've got a heater, but yeah, it's really nice to use just to keep snuggly. So I've really loved making that. My second finished object was a deviation. Returning viewers will know that I have got here on this board adjacent to me here my 2026 plan, which is ambitious to say the least, and we know that it's not all going to get achieved. However, to throw in a complete and utter curveball, I decided the other day I adore mushrooms, fungi, anything mushroom related I adore. I've talked about it before. Behind the camera currently is a greetings card that you can buy with lots of different fungi on. That's a huge inspiration to me and I love it. And I noticed on Ravelry there was a pattern for a mushroom tote bag, and decided upon a whim that on Monday, I think, Sunday or Monday of this week, it's now Thursday, probably Sunday, that I was going to order the yarn for it. So it's made in cotton, and I decided to order the Yarn Smiths. It's in Aran weight, and I have got a stash of cotton up here, but none of it's Aran weight. It's all in DK or 4-ply. So I ordered this from the Wool Warehouse. So it's cotton Aran, and I ordered it in a variety of colours. So I had blue, which is, actually I haven't used this one, but that's teal. This one is linen. They're coming across quite true to colour, actually. This one I think is bright orange. Bear with me. That's not it. Yeah, I think this one is orange. I'll see if I can find the label. Oh, this might be it. Yeah, bright orange. Canary yellow, you'll see. This one, which is just a red. And then I ordered this pink, so that's bright red. This is a pink, which I don't appear to have the label for that one. And then this one is off-white. And this is the finished object. So this is my mushroom tote bag, which I love. It's another free pattern on Ravelry. So essentially you make the circles using a base colour. You then surround them to make them into a square, granny square, and then you make the mushrooms tops and bottoms separately and then stitch them on. Then stitch the bag together and add the handles, so the handles all go round in one go. Now I want to use this as a handbag type thing, and also I want to take it to yarn shows, because I find that I need easy access to my purse for a start, but also to my camera and to my phone, etc. for vlogging. If I vlog, I don't always vlog at yarn shows because I find I get distracted. I realise that halfway around I haven't vlogged, so it's not always that. But the bag by its very nature is crochet, and I know I'm quite a loose crocheter, even with Aran, and I used a 4mm hook, so I came down a hook size. The recommended hook on the pattern is a 4.5, and the recommended hook on this is a 5mm, and I came down to a 4, and I'm still quite loose crocheting. So I knew that this would run the risk of things falling through the holes, and I didn't want that to happen. So I decided to line the bag. So you just used some basic green cotton and lined the bag so that it's usable without things falling out. I cannot wait to use it. My friend said to me, it's really spring colours, even though it's mushrooms. So yeah, that's my next finished object. And as I say, it's a free pattern, which I'll link down below. It took me a couple of days, not long at all. So I've had real fun making that, and I loved it, and I think I'll have great fun using it. So yes, that was a really good one. Looking at my notes. So I have got 2 main whips on the process at the moment. The first one I've cast on, I think I talked about it in the last podcast, but I hadn't cast it on. So I am making a Ooey Gooey Cowl by Andrea Mowry. As a Knit and Natter group, we are all going together to the Big Flock in May in Bristol. And we all thought, last year we all went with chickens, the emotional support chicken, and the chickens all came round with us. And this year we decided to go with something to wear. Now, I'm fully aware that it's May and that this may not be the most appropriate item to wear in May. However, we're all doing it, and so we've all made it, all 8 of us I think, and so almost everyone is making one, and they all look completely different. So this, if you don't know, is the Ooey Gooey cowl, and it's knitted as a whole tube in the round, so it's double-sided, and then you kitchen stitch the end. So I decided that I really wanted to make mine in 2 contrasting yarns, and I had purchased this tencel from my friend who owns the company Nemolio. Now, she's at many of the yarn shows across the country, but I had never used tencel before, plant fibre, and it's really funny because it feels quite soft in the skein, but also there is a coarseness to it that you expect, almost linen-like, but softened linen. And it was just, I was like, oh, well, I'll try it. Everyone else is doing theirs in a variety of wool. I'm going to be different. I'm going to make mine in tencel. So these were the 2 colours I decided to use. This really beautiful pink, which is showing up, but it's blowing. Let me see if this light helps a little bit. Yeah, it's got a beautiful sheen to it. And then the silvery blue, which I loved. And so I cast it on, and then I can't stop doing it. So this is how far I've got so far. It needs blocking desperately, but yes, this is the progress so far. So could be my thumbnail. And so I'm just coming to the end of the first repeat, and then I think it has 2 more of these, and then so you can see what I mean. It's in a tube, and then it will go all the way around, and then you kitchen stitch together at the end, and but it somehow twists like this, I think. And then so I like, this is perfect height for me for a cowl. I don't want it any bigger. I don't want huge ones down here. I like this kind of height, so it'll be nice. And so if I'm not sitting like this, but if I'm like this on the beach, so to speak, with the dog, still keep if you're new, we just lost one of our dogs, so I still keep referring to plural of dogs instead of dog. So yes, this is the Ooey Gooey cowl, and I'm loving it. It hasn't lost its sheen, however it has gone incredibly soft. It is so lovely next to the skin. It's just, if you ever thought in the ball or in the skein it was quite, that there was a coarseness to it, just knit with it, and you will see how it transforms it into the most gloriously soft texture. That's better. Gloriously soft texture. And I'm loving it. I love working with it. I love the pattern. And I have to say, I was quite hesitant about joining in because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a double-sided cowl. I was like, I'm not sure. But once I started it, I am a huge fan of colour work. I love colour work. So, yeah, this is being held in one of my project bags. Yeah, so that's one of my whips. My other main whip is the whip that came from last time as well, and that is my Night Bloom sweater. So I'm considerably further along than I was last time, so I'll stand up and you can see how much further on. So we have split for the sleeves, and now down a good way down the body. So, and for this project I'm using King Cole Orchard yarn, which I got from Black Sheep Wools, and this is the colour Bramley. It's like a duck egg blue, and then the red is, I'll show you the red because I do have it in the ball. The red is a beautiful one from Yarn Unique called Cranberry, but you can see it has these flecks occasionally of white and pink coming through it, and I just love how they have come through on the colour. Apologies, my battery was full. So as I was saying, The red is in my colour work, and the flecks of colour are coming through too in various parts. So I'm just now on the round bit of the jumper, of the body, and then the two sleeves. It just seemed to be taking for ages. So I'm just thinking that I weight loss update. I have now lost 1 stone 12 pounds since the start of December. So we are on the right track and it's all going quite well. Yeah, I'm really quite pleased with the 1 stone 12. But obviously, as I said previously, this means that this jumper is being knit to my old original size and I'm losing inches. And so this needs to be finished so that I can wear it, but equally it will allow for layering. So that's fine. But equally, one advantage of losing significant amounts of weight will mean that the garments will get smaller, and therefore the knit count will get smaller, and therefore I will knit quicker. That's the hope. So yeah, so that's my main whip, that and the ooey gooey, but this really needs to take precedence to do. Now, I do have one other whip that's other than my blankets, but blankets don't count as whips, not in my head. And this is my sock that I'm making. This is in Zigzag. I think it's a King Cole. It's a commercial yarn. My friend Sue bought me this as a gift. It's pink, obviously. And this is actually going to be a shorty. So I've done it's a toe up sock using Wendy Poole's pattern. So I've done the whole foot, I've done the heel, I've done that. I'm now just need to do a little bit of the body, just of the leg, to do for a shorty, and then the rib bind off. So I'm hoping this will be done this weekend, and then I can cast the other one on, and then it's good car, lunch, knitting, etc, etc. And yeah, so as I say, I'm using the Wendy Poole pattern for that, for the toe up socks. There's a tutorial on YouTube, I'll link it below. And those are my 3 main whips that kind of are coming out and about with me. Now, my plan is tomorrow. I have decided this year that, as well as certain shows that I've done before, yarn festivals that I've done before, returning viewers will know I frequently visit yarn shows quite well. And I have decided this year I want to try a couple that I've never done before, because there are a couple that I always go to that I can't go to. So sadly, we can't make the East Anglian Yarn Festival, but it's for a really good reason. We're attending a family wedding, and that's going to be a really beautiful weekend. So as hard as it is to miss the festival, it's for a really worthwhile and wonderful reason. So we will be attending a wedding that weekend, and can't wait. I have no idea what we're going to wear, but yes, so that wedding means that we can't attend the festival. So I have decided that I would go to Unravel. I've never been to Unravel. Really have always wanted to go to Unravel, but it has either clashed with, it does still clash with, but it's clashed with going away for half term, because in the UK we have a February half term holiday next week, and it generally clashes with that. And sometimes I've been going away with the boys, or with Matt and the boys, etc. And so I've not been able to go. This year we are at home for half term. So Matt said to me, Matt is my husband, would you like to go? Sorry, would I like to go? It's Valentine's Day, of course I'd like to go. So we are travelling up tomorrow, staying in a hotel. Tomorrow's Friday, and attending Unravel all day on Saturday. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I've never been, as I say, so it's all brand new. There are some vendors there I've never seen before, even through going to many yarn shows, so I'm really excited. I'm going to take my bag. But if you are around at Unravel on Saturday and you spot me, come and say hi. I'm really awkward when people come and say hi. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you for watching. But just come and nudge me and say, hi, how are you? And my husband will be absolutely fine. He's yappy. So he'll kind of ease me out of my awkwardness. But apologies if I am, but please do come and say hi. And yeah, I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. I've done a massive destash of my yarns over the last couple of weeks. So I have some, I keep telling my husband, I have free money to take with me to the show. Not that he cares, he's worse than me, he's a total enabler. So I am going to the show with a couple of things on my list. Can't wait to see some of the vendors, which I've got a couple of things that I definitely want to purchase while I'm there. Not so much yarn, but other things and bits and pieces. I'm also going to look for some pattern ideas, because when I destashed all the yarn, I've written an inventory of what I've got. And so now I have a pretty good idea of what I've got in my stash, what if there are gaps for certain projects, what gaps those are, what things I need to kind of complement other colorways, etc. So I feel like I'm going with a real purpose in mind this time. We'll see if that lasts, because you know, you see a single skein, I said no more single skeins, I've got a box of single skeins, no more single skeins, and then you know, I might come home with single skeins. So yes, so I think that's pretty much it. I'm really apologetic for the disjointedness of this, you know, disruption here, full battery there, another disruption there. So I'm really sorry if it feels a bit cobbled together, but I wanted to get this out now because I'm aware that it's a couple of weeks since I made my last podcast, and I promised that I would be present, and so I'm here. So yeah, I'd like everyone to stay safe. I know it feels like the world is on fire at the moment, and it feels like we can't really do much in our own little corners of it, but craft and crafting are wonderful escapes, I find. And when the world becomes just a little bit too heavy, then maybe just a little bit of escapism is exactly what we need. Yeah, so take care. I will be back with an update. I will try and take some footage of our weekend and maybe put up a mini vlog of our whole weekend away. I'm hoping that we can go and visit Winchester tomorrow, but it depends on the weather. I've never been to Winchester, so I'm hoping that that will be a nice break on the way up. So yeah, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye.